This is episode 14 of the Guardian Project podcast. I'm your host, Andy Flory, and I'm the magic pop figurine that you bought as a collectible, but is now sitting in the box because you don't have anywhere to display it.
Ooh, that's a good one. And I'm Brian Leathhead, your co-host, and I'm Steel Overseer because I added 1/1 counters to everybody around me.
You make us better.
I make everybody better.
Please listen carefully.
And this is the podcast where we talk about all things Magic the Gathering.
Mostly.
And what do we have on the agenda today? The Ryan.
Let me unfreeze my phone real fast. We got Throne of Eldraine, which I read on Twitter is also a nickname for a toilet, because Eldraine.
Uh-huh.
You broke me, you son of a gun. First off, we're going to do Throne of Eldraine Spoilers. Then we're going to do some Arena Historic Format updates. Then we're going to do a summary of GP Gent and Star City Games Open. We're also going to get into some more War of the Spark story updates. And then we're going to do a little fan favorite update called Unnecessary Flavorship.
Perfect. I'm excited for that. I'm really excited for that. There's some really awful flavor text in Throne of Eldraine. If you guys haven't seen it, there's some cards that we really don't know how it made it under the radar there.
Yeah, Mario, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Really inappropriate.
We have exposed you.
We will expose this flavor text.
Better than exposing ourselves.
Don't do that. Not a good thing to do.
You should never do that.
You should literally never do. It's against the law.
Literally.
Throne of Eldraine Spoilers. We've seen a lot of cards this week.
There have been a ton of cards.
So we're going to talk about a few cards that we like that we've seen this week. I will go ahead and start. I'm going to kind of do...
Whoa. We'll share. We'll split time there. Okay, buddy?
But I'm going to start.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so I want to talk about the rare land cycle. The cards that come in tapped unless you control a basic land of a specific type. So you've got one for each color. I think I really like these because we've got a decent mana base coming out of Ravnica. So we've got the dual lands. So you have a better chance of having the basic land type for these to come in untapped.
And you have the Skylands out of 2020 Vision.
Are those both land types as well?
No, but you know what I'm getting at. It's a dual land.
I mean, it's a dual land, but these ones specifically want a basic land type.
I don't care what you want. I care about what I want, all right?
So there's one for each color, and it represents the castles from all 5 courts in the Throne of Eldraine set. So I'm going to go through each one real quick. So they enter the battlefield tapped unless you control a respective island, plains, mountain, swamp, or forest. And so they all have tap for its respective color, or it has an ability that you can pay and then tap it to do it. So the white one is pay 2 white, tap, create a 1/1 white human creature token. The green is pay 2 green, tap it to add 6 green to your mana pool. So that one's pretty good. People are already talking about utilizing that one in Modern to play Primeval Titan.
Yeah, everybody's excited about Prime Time. Always excited about Prime Time.
And then the red one has pay 1 red, tap it, creatures you control get +1/+0 till end of turn. Blue is pay 2 blue, tap, scry 2. And then the black one has pay 1 black, tap, draw a card, and then lose a life equal to the number of cards in your hand. So that one's a little scary, but at least you get draw.
Everybody gets a draw.
But not the blue one. That one has scry 2.
Lame.
But no, I really like these. I think they'll be great both in Standard and in Commander, and some are already looking to be playable in Modern.
Hopefully.
What do you have as... You have a cycle as well, right, that you want to talk about?
Yeah. Mine's not as cool as lands, but...
Actually, I think they are.
Mine is the Legendary Artifacts Mythics. Circle of Loyalty, which is white. Mage Mirror, which is blue. Cauldron of Eternity, which are substitute co-host Michael Coyle is excited about. Ember Cleaver, which is equipment, and the Great Henge. So we're going to go Wooburg order. The Circle of Loyalty, which is cost 4 colorless and 2 white. Spell cost 1 less for each knight you control. Creatures you control get +1/+1. Whenever you cast a legendary spell, create a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance. 3 colorless, 1 white, tap it, create a 2/2 knight creature token with vigilance.
So we're seeing a lot of knights in this set. It's pretty cool.
There's literally a knight for every color, and I'm excited about that. I love knight.
You
I love lamp.
Batman also likes knight. You are Batman.
You cut to the core of me, and I appreciate it. Anyway, moving on to the blue mythic of this, the Mage Mirror, which is 6 and 3 blue. The spell costs one colorless less for each instant and sorcery in your graveyard. You have no maximum hand size, and at the beginning of your upkeep, put a knowledge counter on the Magic Mirror, then draw a card for each knowledge counter on the Magic Mirror. Magic Mirror on the wall. How many cards do I draw?
A lot.
Yeah, correct. Especially when you are a Spellslinger deck and EDH, you can draw so many cards.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Moving on to the black one, we have the Cauldron of Eternity, which is 10 colorless, 2 black, which again, Michael Hill is very excited about. The spell costs 2 less for each creature card in your graveyard. When a creature you control dies, put it on the bottom of its owner's library. And then 2 colorless, 1 black, tap it. Pay 2 life, return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate this ability only anytime you can cast a sorcery.
Grenzo Dungeon Warden is very excited for that card.
I have read that on Twitter many times, and yes, it is very excited.
I'm just going to stack the bottom of my library.
Yeah, exactly. It reminds me a lot of Whip of Erebos.
Is it? Doesn't Whip just bring it back? Now watch it, Whip.
No, watch me.
Doesn't that card bring it back? It has lifelink, and then you exile it. Is that what this does? I mean, it kind of, I guess.
Unless you trick the priority with Ghost Council of Orzo, not Ghost Council. What's the card name?
Which that makes it so that you don't have to exile it?
Yeah, you can stack priority and trick it. But anyway,
you could just send out of the infinite and make it so it doesn't go away.
Oh, that's true.
That card underrated.
You're so smart. Anyway, moving on to the red mythic of the cycle. It's called Ember Cleaver, which costs 4 colorless and 2 red. Has flash, which is also illegal in real life.
Don't do that either.
Yeah, don't do that either. But flash and magic. You can flash all the time, anytime you can.
It is encouraged.
Exactly. The spell costs 1 colorless less for each attacking creature you control. When Ember Cleaver enters the battlefield, attach it to a target creature you control. Equip creature that's +1/+1 has double strike and trample. Equip cost of 3 colorless.
So I've been told that card in Commander in a Prosh deck is you win the game.
Prosh is automatically win the game whenever you cast it. So especially with Food Chain in play. So,
but I don't even know if you even need Food Chain, because this card right there is you attack with your little kobolds. You flash that in, and then you eat the kobolds mid-combat, and it's double strike. I think that's 21 damage on the first swing.
Yeah, if you were
if you have the mana, I guess.
Right, if you're playing Prosh correctly, you're going to have that.
That's ridiculous.
Exactly.
It's really cool.
I also played Volduke for a while, Volduke Keeper of the Flame, and this card. That card's really great for that deck, too. Yeah, exactly.
I think that card's really good in any equipment deck that plays red.
Exactly, which is a lot of, like Godo.
Yeah.
And then the last card in this cycle is called the Great Henge, which I don't know if it's copywritten, but Stonehenge, that's just...
But this is in the middle of a tree with a portal, so at least they did different artwork.
Well, we don't know. Yeah, that's true. It's called the Great Henge. It costs 7 colorless and 2 green. The spell costs X colorless less to cast, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. Now, it taps for... Add 2 green to your mana pool, and you gain 2 life.
That's not all, folks.
That's not all. If you didn't think that was enough here... Oh, wait, there's more. Billy Mays. Whenever a when non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on it and draw a card.
You get to draw cards. It's a great one.
Yeah, green loves drawing cards. It doesn't get enough of it, but here it is.
I mean,
on a card.
There are so many green commander decks that play just big creatures. You have Galta, the original Omnath.
You have Thrawn.
Yeah, that's the troll.
The troll who is hexproof.
Yeah, there's a lot of cards that just produce a ton of green mana, and this is great. I like it a lot. Aside from that cycle, there's a couple of cards. Some of them were previewed today, like Brazen Borrower. And this one, I'm curious about why the card does what it does. It says 1 blue. It is a creature that has adventure. it's clearly stealing something.
We don't like theft.
I'm in Magic though. I don't mind the stealing mechanic. I mean it's kind of cool. But the card itself is called Petty Theft, which you would think would be like maybe like a control magic, gain control of target creature, or
Right.
until or something like that. And it says return target non-land permanent and opponent controls to its owner's hand. So I'm not quite sure how that exactly is petty theft, because you're not really stealing it. You're mostly giving it back. And then it has, as the creature side, Flash Flying and Brazen Borrower can only block creatures with flying for a 3/1 flying fairy rogue. So I feel like this card had something in maybe development that made them change that adventure last minute to say something other than what was probably originally printed.
Is that your official opinion on the matter?
That it is mine, yeah. I feel like this was not meant to be this.
Where can you find other opinions of that are your own?
You can ask me more questions.
I was getting more at your Twitter handle at ATFlurs.
You can find more of my opinions on Twitter. Although I didn't tweet about this one. I just mostly read this one just now.
You heard it here, folks.
You heard it here first.
Wow.
And I might not even tweet about it. So
we don't need to tweet it. We're talking about it
the
right
folks
now.
that listen to the fine folks listening to our podcast know my opinion on Brazen Borrower.
In up to 5 different countries. We love you all.
We love you all. Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're pointing at
I'm
me?
pointing at you because
yeah,
it's your card is next.
What? Okay, so I'm most excited. I'm stealing this from Andy because I was kind of put on the spot. It's called Fable Passage. It's a land that says tap it, sacrifice Fabled Passage, search your land for a basic library.
Search your land for a basic library. Is that what you said?
Search for basic library.
Let's just redo that one.
Yeah. Focus. Find your Zen.
Uh-huh.
Fable Passage.
Land.
Sacrifice it.
Mm-hmm.
No, they already know it's land.
Okay.
Search sacrifice Fable Passage. Search your library for a basic land type, basic land card. Put it in the battlefield tap, then shuffle your library. Then, and only then, if you control 4 or more lands, untap that land.
Yeah, so it's we have a standard fetch for a basic land that looks for 4 other lands. Period. Just
no basic lands, no.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what they are.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like a standard. It's a standard fetch for a basic land. It gives you feels like Prismatic Vista, but not as good. But I feel like this is an affordable fetch.
Oh yeah.
For someone who's looking for a basic land.
If I were to put monetarily, I would say because it is in the standard set, I would probably put it in like $5 to $10 range. Even
you think up to 10?
I think it could be up to that, yeah. Only because the high demand for it, for Prismatic Vista itself, I mean, it's up to TCG Mid, it's up to $30. And I think this card could be as good, and as a card that would be in print more, I think it could be up to $10.
Okay. One more card that I want to mention today is a song that requires you to sing whenever you play it. Forever Young. Forever Young.
I wanna be forever at hashtag.
Why are you promoting my Twitter page again? You can find this and other original, that wasn't an original song. I also don't sing and post my songs, but this song you have to sing Forever Young whenever you play it. This card.
And he wants to be forever young with at Balderman Cometh.
So the card itself is a sorcery and says put any number of target creatures from your graveyard on top of your library and then draw a card. So I really think it should have just said draw a creature card from your graveyard.
That's fair. That's totally fair.
I mean, I guess you can just draw a card and not put a creature on top of your graveyard because some people might not want to do that. But I really wish they would just make a card that says draw a card from your graveyard.
It's like, yeah, I wish they would just make a card that's like in between Ghoul, Color's Chant, and like, Mystical Tutor. Worldly Tutor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
this would be that.
Exactly.
It'd be great. Any others that you found interesting from this past week?
No. I think we can move on to the next topic.
So we have Arena historic format updates.
Ooh, yeah, there's a little bit of controversy with this one.
I don't even know if it's controversy. I'm glad they did it. They walked that back. So what is happening now with the historic card specifically?
Well, first off, let me say that I'm very glad that Wizards of the Coast has been very transparent throughout this whole process. But they announced that so they announced the historic family maybe a month ago.
Yeah, about.
Yeah. Saying that they were gonna keep Rivals of Ixalan, Dominaria, and Ixalan.
I think it was just the standard set. Like what was on Arena now was staying, right? But they were just adding random cards to the format.
They were gonna release it or keep it active with 45 pack bundles, right?
Yes.
And then that received a little bit of negative feedback, so they announced this week that they were going to just the other controversy, if you will, was that they were going to, in order to redeem these cards, you would have to, it was a 2-for-1
wild card.
Yeah, redemption. Yeah. People didn't like that, so now they've changed it to a 1-for-1 redemption, and they're also keeping it the active SKUs for those sets, so you can buy those as individual sets rather than as that 45 pack bundle.
Yeah.
The only a little bit of trouble that we're having wrapping our heads around is that it doesn't count towards they don't have any active quests for historic, but they are leaving it up to that it counts towards your daily progress.
Yeah, so I think it's just your the daily quest, but like your weekly wins, right? They don't count on historic.
Yeah.
So, and since they don't really have any sort of ladder system, it really just feels like you're just playing to play. So until they have, I mean, not that I don't think it's interesting. It's just wild cards come at a premium. It really feels like that I need to keep those to play a standard deck. So I don't really. And without knowing exactly which cards are coming, I mean, we've seen screenshots of people playing, or at least of what we can expect. We've seen a screenshot that has Grizzlebrand in it.
Right,
it just,
a beta of a beta, yeah.
And it doesn't. I don't really know what the decision is to, or how we're making the decision on which cards come in. I mean, I'd be thrilled to see like Pack Rat. I mean, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be great. But
it does feel like at random, but they have announced that they are doing 15 cards a month, I believe, 15 different cards that they're introducing into Arena.
Yeah, it says 15 to 20 cards added in November through a paid event was the previous, and now the updated is to be determined.
Yeah. So yeah, we still don't know which cards are going to be selected, but they're trying to make it so there is a non-standard format in Arena.
But it does say that there will be a historic ranked, and that will be available in December for a limited time. So I'm assuming this is just them testing the waters to see how it works out. But I think from what I've read, from what I've heard, it sounds like they were afraid to just turn it on, because if everybody just decides to play this new historic eternal, kind of like an eternal format on Arena, that the standard queues just wouldn't fire, and people playing Arena to play standard wouldn't be able to play games. I don't think that's the case. I personally think that I will play Brawl far more than anything else on Arena, because it's playing standard Commander, and that's far more interesting to me than playing standard after month 1 or month 1.5, because the decks seem to play the same decks over and over. If I have to play against blue-white or blue-green flash or mono-red one more time, that's where I'm at. Yeah. And so I haven't been playing other than just to finish my daily and weekly quests, because I think we need to see something new. Obviously, things are going to be leaving soon. Some of our problem children are going out the door, so we won't have to deal with those. But
new format come October.
So it'll be interesting again for a bit, but then we can play Brawl. So
right, and there's always like a singleton and a popper format on.
But I do like draft. So to be fair, I do like to draft a lot, and that's what I mostly play. And I probably draft more than anything now in paper. I mean, I play Commander in paper, but as far as like going and buying new product goes, I either buy boxes to draft with friends, or I go to actual draft events at my LGS. I don't generally go and play standard in paper, because I think Arena has now done that for me, because I can play like 20 games on Arena in a couple of hours, as opposed to playing 4 games in 5 hours or 4 hours at the game shop. I play way more games on Arena, and I can test way more decks.
Yeah, I think the advantage of playing on Arena, like you said, is testing more. So I think people can zone in more on what they want to play in paper.
Yeah.
And it, as an LGS employee, it has improved our standard events, and as far as what people.
Because you can
play.
test what you want to play, and then you can say, okay, I've played this deck 50
Yeah.
times. I played this deck 50 times. I really hated this one, but I really thought I wasn't going to like this, but I did like it. And then you
Right.
buy that one in paper,
Yeah.
and then you play that for the season.
Right. I don't like band. You know, you can say I don't like Bandscape Shift. I want to play Modern.
Yes. All right, so we just took a break for pizza, and now we're back, and we're going to talk GP Gent and Star City Games. What happened this weekend?
A lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Are you excited?
Actually, I'm super excited about the GP Gent results.
So Grand Prix Ghent was this weekend. Andy, do you know where Ghent is?
I do not, actually. Didn't even look it up.
I thought it would be like France or something, but it was actually Belgium.
Oh.
I was one state off.
Is Ghent...
Just kidding. I
Is
was
it
one
a
country off?
Is it a city, or is it like
It's it's a city in Belgium.
Oh,
That's all I know
okay.
because I looked at the GP coverage.
Okay. And what happened? Okay, so GP Gent was Team Modern, but not Team Modern Unified, right?
No, it was just Team Modern.
Team Modern. So you can play three
Whatever you
people with
want.
the same deck if you really wanted to, right?
Correct. The winner was almost all three decks.
Of the same, were
Of
they
the
slight
same.
variations?
There was Esther Trujillo, if
Okay.
I'm saying that correct, Ruben Perez, and Yoel Calafel.
And this is our second
Our second Grand Prix winner by a
woman.
woman.
That's exciting.
Yes. The third woman to win a major event in Magic.
That's exciting.
Exactly.
And what decks were we playing in this first place team?
So first host team, if we're going in order of Esther, Ruben, and then Yoel, was Jund, Wurza.
Jund, Wurza.
So Wurza, Jund, Wurza.
Jund, Wurza?
Yeah, just to break up the monotony of
Or you could do
Wurza.
Wurza, Jund.
That is also correct.
You
Tic-tac-toe.
Tic-tac-toe. No, okay, so Jund is back, and Wurza is not gone. So
Wurza just keeps growing in popularity, and it just drives us
I love it.
October,
I mean, at
so
least
it's fine.
there's a new deck out there that we can watch for a while.
Exactly. So coming in after the post ban of Hogak, and also, I guess technically Phoenix because it
Kind of lost with the Faithless Looting.
Yeah, ceased to be a deck. According to the GP coverage page, Jund was the most played deck at the GP, and that
Nice.
includes all three teams.
Does this mean that Ren and 6 is being played a lot in Jund?
Yes.
Nice.
Ren and 6 was played a lot this weekend, but we'll get a little bit more into that with the Star City because it was a Legacy Open.
Okay.
So the top 5 decks from the GP, which was the Modern Trios, was Jund at 13.5%, Wurza at 10.5%, Burn also at 10.5%, and then Stoneblade. It doesn't break down, but I would assume that would just be Blue, White, and Jeskai.
Okay.
And
Making assumptions. We can do that.
Yeah. Did you just assume the deck?
I assume the deck list.
Fair enough. And then the 5th was Robots. Now, I would assume, I'm making an assumption.
Is that Affinity? What is Robots?
Robots would be traditionally just the mono artifacts.
Okay.
Affinity. But based on what we know now, or what I know now, what many people know now, is I think that would just be hardened scales.
And all of you now know? It's hardened scales. That's what Robots is hardened scales.
Yeah, the traditional Affinity shell I think is a little outdated, and I think they moved more to the hardened scale shell just because it's a little bit more explosive and longevity.
I'm surprised you're not calling it hardened scales.
There's robots in it.
Right, but don't they usually call it hardened scales, or are you calling it Robots?
Yes, good question.
Can we also circle back about me assuming the deck list for Stoneblade? Can we assume that there's 4 Stoneforge Mystic in there?
You can assume that correctly.
I
Yeah.
love when I'm right when I assume. That's great.
Assume.
So those are the top 5 most played decks for the weekend.
Yes. So
For the GP event.
correct.
For GP Gent.
The team was actually all from Spain. So if you're listening from our audience from Spain and you know them, give them a shout out from us, the Guardian Project
Yes.
podcast. They actually beat. It was almost like it was nationals because the team of Spain, if you will, beat a team from the Netherlands. They beat a Dutch team, who was Brett Vos, Niels Vandersen, and then Jesper Box.
And what were they playing? Do we have their deck list?
In order, they were playing Jeskai Stoneblade, Wurza, and Dredge.
Oh, okay. So only one deck was similar there.
Yeah.
No, well, no. I guess there was a.
Some had artifacts. I guess you can make that.
Sure. Well, there was a Wurza deck, but it wasn't. It still wasn't Wurza Gent.
That sounds like a great song. Wurza Gent.
We should make up lyrics for that song.
Exactly. But overall, a pretty diverse post-Hogak format.
Nice.
I mean, as you could see, there's a pretty good in the top 5. There's a pretty good diverse showing there.
And we have more women representation in Magic, so that's a win-win for the
Even
weekend.
better. Break up the sausage.
Oh my god. Sure.
Yeah.
How's the Star City game Legacy Open going? How did it go?
There was not a lot of sausage in that event.
Oh my gosh. No. I'm sorry, listeners, that you had to endure that.
So if you actually read the top 8 profiles, they were all basically saying that Legacy is not in a good place because of Renin 6 and Arkham's Astrolabe.
Arkham's Astrolabe, I've heard, is taken over Pauper. Is it also taking over Legacy?
Yeah, it was in, I want to say, the majority of the top 8. I don't really have a number.
Is it forcing snow-covered basics?
Basics, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I figured.
But at least, let's see, does Storm play it? But 2 out of at least the top 4 decks are playing 4 copies. It did not play it in Storm, but it was in the majority. So, excuse me. Top 8 of this event was 4-color Control, playing 3 copies of Renin 6 and 3 Jace the Mind Sculptor.
JTMS.
And then 4 copies of Arkham's Astrolabe, which...
Is that card just, it's draw a card...
And then 1, tap it, add color of any mana to your mana pool.
Is it also a snow-covered permanent?
Yes, it counts as a, yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, and then, I mean, Legacy seems to be just filled with wastelands and obviously fetch lands.
Filled with wasteland.
And then, then you can just get it all back with Renin 6. So, great format.
Party.
It's surprisingly, even with Renin 6, there's still a ton of Delver decks being played. It was the most played archetype of day 2. There was 21 Temur Delver decks and then 6 Urza Delver decks, so 27 copies of some sort of Delver on day 2. Golgari Depths, which is kind of surprising because I thought all...
Golgari Depths?
Golgari Depths.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, it's green and black for obviously like Assassin's Trophy and Abrupt Decay, but it almost plays like it's like a EDH deck because it has like Deathrite. Nope, that's banned. It has Sylvan Safekeeper.
Does it play Vampire Hexmage?
It does, yeah.
Yes, to take all the counters off the Dark Downs to get the 2020.
And then Thespian Stage, and obviously can Renin 6
nice.
Get that back. So, yeah. 4-color Control ended up winning, which was the second most archetype with 13 played, and then Jeskai Mentor, and then Selesnya Depths, which...
Selesnya Depths.
Yeah, apparently...
Not playing Vampire Hexmage.
No. I don't know what it's white for. There wasn't any in the top 16.
Path to Exile? That's what I always assume when a deck just adds white.
No, it's like a CB Swords with Plowshares.
Oh. Swords. That's the one that's just gained life, right? Instead
Fight
of
100 bad guys with swords.
100 bad guys with swords. Aladdin, again, circling back. Good stuff. But they didn't say that in... Did they say it in the new movie? Was that a lyric in the new movie?
It was, but they didn't put...
But they didn't do the voice like Robin
kid.
Williams did.
Yeah.
Still good. Still a good movie. Actually, fantastic movie. Back to Legacy.
Yeah. A card that is surprising yet not surprising that was in top 8, an archetype, was Producer Ryan, what's the card that we talked about most before this?
Hogak?
Exactly. It was a Hogak deck.
Oh, in Legacy? Gross.
Legacy,
Let's
yeah.
not discuss about it.
Okay.
Let's not discuss it.
Yeah, let's move away.
Yeah, we're good with that.
Surprising but not surprising, I played Hedron Crab.
Oh, so it's Crabgak.
Crabgak.
Perfect. In Legacy.
Guess who's back? Crabback's back. And then to round out top 16, there was Mono Red Prison, Teamer Infect, Hogak Depth, so that's interesting, and more Jeskai Mentor and Teamer Delver.
Nice.
So pretty actually diverse legacy, even though it seems like everything is just playing either Hogak or Ren and 6. Good job.
I wish I hadn't gotten out of... So I had 2 Ren and 6. And I was like, oh, I don't know if these are going to... So I sold out at... When they were at like 105.
Yeah.
Now they're at like, what, 140?
No, they were for a while, but they're at like 80, 90 right now.
Oh, okay. So I did the
come
right
down a
thing.
little bit.
I didn't mess up like I did with Jace Vryn's Prodigy when I sold out of those at 12, and then they went to 100 4 weeks later. That was my biggest mistake in Magic so far. I'm not good at Magic finance, folks. I can tell when a card's good, but then when all the pros say it's bad, and then it ends up they were wrong for like the first time ever. That happened to me.
Andy, how do you feel? What's your spec on Oketra's Last Mercy?
Oh, you told everybody my mistake. I thought, okay, so if you play an Oketra's Last Mercy in Modern against Burn, they do scoop to you.
That's true.
Your life just becomes 20 again. Don't play that card. But I have 30. If anyone's looking for an Oketra's Last Mercy, I will hook you up. Because I have
that could be...
I think I have more than 30 of them.
That could be your next giveaway. 30.
That's going to get me a down payment on a new house when that card shoots up.
Hopefully.
Look for it. We'll have to come back to this. I'm gonna be really excited when that card shoots up. I don't think it's gonna, but my Burn is always safe, but I don't think it's ever gonna be top again. Like number 1.
Don't count your eggs before they hatch. I'm just saying.
Do you want to hear more about Ravnica and what happened before War of the Spark?
Yes, I do.
All right.
I know you're not mentally ready, but I still want you to talk to like Luis from Ant-Man.
I didn't. I would have to make a video, and producer Ryan would have to do a lot of work to make me look good because I can't do that on my own. I'm not good enough for that. But I would love to do that. Okay, so maybe I'll have to think of it when another story comes out in the future for another set. We'll have to do a quick 5-minute summary of something told just like that.
So we're saying when story is released from Eldraine?
No, the book's already out from Eldraine.
Oh,
the
really?
full book came out last week.
Interesting.
I haven't read it because I'm still doing War of the Spark.
Oh, we gotta catch up. Yeah.
Yeah, we could do it in the future.
Yeah.
It'll be like a quick summary of the whole 200 some page book. We can do it real quick.
Featuring Luis.
Like the Titanic video where it's like this ship can't sink. Bloop. That's one of my favorite. It's one of my throwback YouTube videos. Look that one up. But Ravnica. So circling back after last week, we ended with Rael basically trying to gather the guilds. And we start out here still trying to gather the guilds.
Still gathering.
But
still
so,
Magic the Gathering.
So Hakara, the Rakdos emissary that was like, I have to stay with you, otherwise the Rakdos won't show up.
Not to be confused with Hogak, because that's what it popped in my brain just now.
Yeah, not Hogak. It is a she is a Razor Witch from Rakdos. So basically Rakdos told them, yeah, I'm not going to come to your summit if you don't let this person follow you around because I don't necessarily trust you. So Rael said, okay, fine. Because I need you to show up so this person can follow me around. So
I'm following you around on the story.
Yeah,
so I get that.
So last we left off, the Selesnya asked for a meeting. So they go to meet Amara, and she says there's a problem with the guild. Basically, the Selesnya is led by Tristani, which is 3 dryads that are part of like a single mind. Okay, so they represent life, order, and harmony. And apparently, harmony has withdrawn, and so order and life are at a crossroads, which has really put their guild into chaos. So Tristani Discordant was the card from Guilds of Ravnica, represented in paper. That's basically saying we are not okay. There's a problem that's affecting our guild. So basically, while talking to Rael, while Amara was talking to Rael, some girl walks in and was like, "Would you guys like some tea?" And Amara basically dismisses her. And when the girl turns around, she pulls out a knife and tries to assassinate Amara Tendaris. And
I'm assuming that didn't go well.
No, because Rael blocks her, and then Hakara, the Razor Witch from Rakdos, murders this girl. And turns out Nicol Bolas has turned the guild against Rael specifically and was trying to have Amara Tendaris murdered, and then was going to frame it on Rael so that none of the guilds would work with him. So Amara confirms that since she's still alive, she'll have the Selesnya go to the conference, the guild summit. So we circle back to Braska. We find out that she does not have a good relationship with Asperia. There's bad blood. We have bad blood.
Now I want Starbucks.
Yes, I could go for Starbucks. I don't think they have. They have to have coffee. If they have tea on Ravnica, they've got coffee.
Exactly.
All right. Well, Starbucks is probably not there because copyright, but they would drink it if it was available. So basically, Vraska was detained by the Azorius a long, long time ago when the Azorius scooped up a bunch of folks for doing things that they thought they shouldn't have been doing. And apparently at the time, Asperia was still just a judge. She wasn't in charge of the Azorius yet, and she sentenced Vraska to go to jail. So they didn't have...
This is Monopoly.
Yeah, you go to jail, do not pass go, do not collect $200. So apparently one day Vraska was being beaten by some guards, and all of a sudden she just disappeared. And that was when her spark ignited, and she planeswalked away. And they didn't know where she went, and so she had been wanted by the Azorius for a long time for escaping jail. So Lavinia explains all of this to Rael because Lavinia is gathering secrets from all over Ravnica and giving them to Rael. And Rael's having a hard time getting the Golgari to actually attend since Vraska was in charge and she really doesn't get along with Asperia. So Rael meets with Vraska and she says she'll attend after learning that her memories were unlocked and she really wants to be one of the good guys instead of being a bad guy after learning that she was a good guy on Ixalan. After that little Crowl unlocked all of her memories, she was like, "Oh, I'm a good guy. I'll go and I apologize for working for Nicol Bolas."
That was the albino bug thing.
Yeah, the albino bug that unlocked her memories. So finally,
good on that albino bug for unlocking your memory.
You circle back to Tomik, Rael's boyfriend. He tells Rael that the Orzhov are going to kill Teysa, and he knows that they really shouldn't mix guild work. They're not in the same guild, but he really needs Rael's help to attack the Orzhov so that Kaya can go in and murder the Ghost Council, which is in charge of the Orzhov. So Braska brings a horde of zombies into the catacombs, and she goes, I'll have my guild attack the Orzhov so it doesn't look like the Izzet are doing anything wrong so that they don't refuse to come to your guild summit. So a bunch of zombies attack the Abzadat, or attack in the catacombs, and Kaya makes her way to the Ghost Council. She gets there and she starts murdering the council. So she murders 2 people and she starts feeling like she has to breathe heavy. She's like, I don't know what's going on. This isn't normal.
The storyline is making me breathe heavy because it's so intense.
Right. And then they didn't really care that she was there. And then she murders 2 of them and they were like, "Who are you?"
All of a sudden we care.
And she goes, I'm here to murder you. And so they try to run away. And she starts murdering them.
Nope.
And the only one left is Teysa's grandpa, Karlov of the Ghost Council. And he tries to say, "You don't want to do this. Teysa's not, you can't trust Teysa." And she goes, "Yeah, I wasn't hired by Teysa. I'm going to kill you." And so she does, and she blacks out. She can't breathe and she just blacks out. So you find her and she's woken up by this girl who keeps calling her Guildmaster. And she's like, "I'm not even from here. Why are you calling me Guildmaster?" Right. Teysa comes in and explains, "Yeah, I just found out that when you killed everyone, that all of the debt that they had transferred to you." And Kaya was all, "What do you mean?" And
what do you
apparently mean? All of the Orzhov contracts that said that people would pay out their debts to them were transferred to Kaya, and she's plain bound. They basically said, if you try to planeswalk away, you're gonna die.
You turn into a ghost.
It says you can't leave, and you have like these eternal debts, because apparently Karlov had made some really sketchy deals because he didn't think he was ever going to die. Well, now that there's a living being, right? Now that there's a living being with all of his debts, Teysa was all, we're trying to figure out how to get your debts transferred to me because I want to be guildmaster, but pretty much you have to stay here and be guildmaster now. So Bolas, this little girl that's talking to her, starts to talk like Nicol Bolas. So he's controlling this person and says, Kaya, yeah, it's me. I need you to do one more thing. She goes, well, I took care of the Ghost Council. You asked me to kill them, so I did, because you were going to help me with stuff that I needed. I'm back on my home plane. And Nicol Bolas says, yeah, I will, but you need to do one more thing for me. You need to go represent the Orzhov at the summit and like mess everything up. And so that's kind of where we leave that. And then the last thing we learn, we're going to end on a really dark note here, is you circle back to Rael. He kind of does one of those flashbacks, and we hear about how he became a planeswalker. So I think origin stories are really cool, but this one was real dark. So we circle back when he's working for Nicol Bolas. Remember, I said that there was that tall, slender guy with blonde or gray hair pulled back, and then he was like, "My name's Nicol Bolas."
Yeah.
Well, he's working for that guy still in his memories, and he has to collect some debts. And so he at the time has a boyfriend named Elias, and he wanted him to stay home, and they were going to go to some party and do this thing. And apparently they were having some issues already, because Rael always has to leave and go do work for Nicol Bolas. And so he goes to leave, and Elias wasn't really happy with him, but he had to go to work. So he goes to collect rent pay from some folks, and he goes to this woman's house. Now, Rael's not a planeswalker yet. So he goes to collect debt, but he still has like his electrical like gadgets. And so he goes to this person's house and he goes, I have to collect your rent. And she goes, I don't have my rent. And he said, I know, but you know what my boss does when you don't pay your debts. And so he kind of flashes some sparks to kind of look like he's threatening her. And the woman's son runs out. He's like 10 and stabs Rael Zarek in the side, just stabs him. And so Rael, he got shanked. And so he starts like getting woozy, and he goes, I got to go home. So he kind of goes home, and he is like crawling at this point, and he opens the door and finds his boyfriend Elias cheating on him.
Wow.
Really?
What a development.
And so then Elias was like, well, you left me no choice. You're never home, and this relationship isn't going anywhere. And Rael like feels that he has to leave. He's super stressed out, and his spark ignites, and he becomes a planeswalker because of his extreme amount of like stress and off. Well, he got stabbed and then was super upset and became a planeswalker. That's kind of where we are in the story.
Ooh,
it's not happy yet.
Wait, it's so dark that Rael is like Grixis. That's how dark it is.
I know, but he still stays Izzet. We haven't seen him go dark yet, but he's actually, I think, a good guy in this because he's trying to get them all together so that Niv Mizzet can become strong enough to fight.
Right. Well, wasn't he considered a double agent?
Well, he was bad before, I think. I mean, because during the Return to Ravnica block, he wasn't a good guy.
No, but I thought he was considered allied with Nicol Bolas at first, and then he was. And now he's a guy. So I mean, right. He really is kind of a double agent because he's working right now to get the guilds together. And I don't know if Nicol Bolas knows that actually yet. It's not been announced that he knows yet. Gotcha. We're only seeing Nicol Bolas really in flashbacks as far as Rael's story goes. With Kaya, that was current. And Nicol Bolas was all, I'm not gonna help you till you help me again. She was not thrilled. So that's where we are. Things are getting a little dicey, and six-sided dicey.
Yeah, so we're getting a little closer to the Guild Summit, which appears to be the lead up of the prequel. So
getting good.
We will likely be there. I think next week. There's a few more chapters that came out, so we'll cover those, and I believe that will be at the actual novel of War of the Spark, which obviously is out.
Awesome.
So we have one more thing we want to do tonight, which is we really want to talk about these super inappropriate cards from Throne of Eldraine.
And that brings us to our next segment, Unnecessary Flavorship.
Unnecessary Flavorship.
This new set has some really inappropriate names. So first we're going to go over Harmonious Archon. First among
My God.
Isn't that terrible?
The entire card should have just been bleeped. They should have just rewritten that.
3 words and they couldn't even fit one nice word in there, apparently.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
This next one is really bad. It's called Linden, the Steadfast Queen. And her flavor text is, until my last breath, I will the realm.
She is not happy with something.
She is not a happy queen, not steadfast at all.
Clearly she needs to find a new realm because she doesn't need to do that to any realm.
Exactly.
Oh.
Next up, this set is full of knights, by the way, but it's really bad. This first card is called Circala the Bold, and her flavor text is, duty and honor are reasons enough, but you will also be a pleasure. Is it a pleasure? I don't know.
I mean, I think they're enjoying it.
From the sounds of it, it sounds like they enjoy a lot of things.
It would be a pleasure.
For honor and duty.
For honor and duty.
Followed by the Green Knight, Sir Farron, the Hedgehammer. Flavor text is as follows. Words are pointless. It's what you do with your that counts.
I've heard that phrase before.
Have you really?
Right? Haven't you heard that before?
I have not. I don't talk like that.
It's how you use it that counts.
Do you kiss your mother with that mouth?
Do you kiss your mother with that mouth?
I do. Mine's a clean mouth. And finally, this is the worst one of all. It's called Piper of the Swarm. It says, if it has ears, it will my tune. What a wonderful tune that is indeed.
I actually really like this card. I didn't realize that flavor text was so inappropriate. Can I even play that in my commander deck?
No.
I'm going to have to, just black it out, right? With a Sharpie.
Literally, because it's a black card.
It is. Piper the Swarm. Wow. Wow.
How did Wizards,
Who allowed that? That was a good one.
Exactly.
I mean, if you clearly they're targeting a different audience with this set.
Rated XXX from what I can understand. Good.
NC-17 flavor text for show.
Hashtag.
Well, I think that's it for this week.
Pretty good week.
Yeah. So if you enjoyed that, let us know. We really had a fun time recording that. Thank you everyone for listening. If you want to contact us, you can find us. You can find our podcast on Twitter at Guardian Pod. You can find me at ATFlory.
And me at Ballerman Cometh.
Also, take a look for hashtag Guardian Project Pod to find our posts and episodes. We'd like to hear from you, so send along your comments and any topics you'd like to hear us talk about, and we'll go over those on the next episode. You can also email us at guardianprojectpod@gmail.com. I think that's it. So we will see you all next week.
Catch you on the flip side.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Pizza was good.
I miss carbs.
I eat carbs all the time.
I didn't miss them. I hit all of them. I was doing so good today, too.
3-word flavor. That one was funny because I was like, wait, that was just a beep.